Welcome to the Make More Money as a Dietitian podcast. I am your host, Christine Diane Thompson, and this podcast is for dietitians who are ready to stop apologizing for wanting more money, more freedom, and a career that actually honors everything that you bring to the table. This is where we ditch the guilt and start building something big. If that resonates with you, let's go ahead and get started with today's episode. Hey there, my friends. Welcome to episode 370 of the Make More Money as a Dietitian podcast. I am so glad that you are back for another episode on the pod. And this is going to be a very chill episode, very unscripted, just very laid back. As I mentioned, this is episode 370, y'all. And when I saw that number, it felt really, really significant. And I felt like this particular episode deserved a bit of a pause and some reflection rather than another scripted teaching type of episode. 370 episodes. And I just want to kind of sit with that for a second, because when I started this podcast, my friends, I honestly had no idea if I'd make it to episode 10, let alone 370. And I remember recording those first few episodes in my closet, actually. Literally the closet where I have all my clothes and all my shoes, because the acoustics were a little bit better, of course. And I was just wondering if anyone would even listen. And here we are today, 370 conversations about money mindset, about building your nutrition practices that actually serve your life, about refusing to accept the story that dietitians can't make good money. And that's a lot of showing up, and a lot of you showing up too, listening and trusting me with your time and your dreams for your nutrition practice. And you know what's really, really crazy? When I look back at those early episodes, I was teaching things like I was still figuring them out myself. And I mean, I don't know if I was teaching them like I was figuring it out, but there were some things that I was still in the process of figuring out on my own. And I was talking about confidence while building my own. I mean, I feel like I've always been a pretty confident person, but we're always a work in progress in one way or another, of course. I was also sharing strategies for valuing yourself while learning to up level and value parts of myself as well. And maybe that's why it worked, maybe that's why it clicked, because I wasn't speaking from some ivory tower of having it all figured out. I was walking the path right along with you, maybe a few steps ahead. And some of you have been here since the very beginning. Some of you may have discovered the podcast just last week, if not today. But all of you are here because something inside of you knows that there's more possible for your career than what you've been told. Okay? And I want you to know that inner knowing and the refusal to settle is what kept this conversation going for 370 episodes. Now, to be completely honest with you, I actually woke up today feeling really, really tired. And it wasn't that I didn't get a good night's sleep. It was actually the first night in a long time that I didn't wake up in the middle of the night to go pee. If you know, you know, okay? At this stage in life, I am postmenopausal, okay? And yeah, the middle of the night going to pee is very real at this stage. And I actually took a nap during the day, and I was hoping that I would feel a little more energized to record this episode. But the truth of the matter is, I still didn't feel like creating something big or new or polished today. And I want to share this with you because sometimes success looks like showing up in honesty, not in perfection. Okay, my dietitians? Sometimes the most aligned thing that you can do for your business or for your clients, um, even for yourself, is to be real about where you are instead of performing where you think you should be. Okay. And I could have skipped this week's episode. I really, really thought long and hard about it. And my brain was telling me all the things about all the crazy things about how no one's listening anyway. And yeah, I still have crazy thoughts like that, you know? So I could have skipped this week. I could have recorded something generic about pricing strategies or setting boundaries or what have you. But instead, friends, I'm here. I'm in my comfy clothes at around 5 p.m. on Wednesday, the day before you hear this. And I'm talking to you about what it actually looks like to run a business that serves your life, which sometimes means admitting you're tired and showing up anyway, but just a little differently. And that's okay. So, when I think about 370 episodes, what really stands out isn't necessarily the strategies that I've shared or the lessons that I've taught, but the fact that I just kept showing up and that you kept listening. And that's the real win here. Can you hear me smiling? I'm so grateful for you showing up and listening. It is not about always having some groundbreaking thing to say, okay? But it's about being in conversation over time with people who care about this work, with dietitians who know they're meant for more than what they've been told is possible, with nutrition professionals who refuse to accept that we have to choose between meaningful work and financial security. And you know what I've learned after 370 episodes? I've learned the transformation actually happens in the showing up, not in the perfection, my friends. The magic is in the consistency, not the brilliance of any single moment. So, if there's any takeaway here, it's this: rest and honesty are just as much a part of building a sustainable business as strategy or mindset work. Maybe even more so. Because how can you create something that truly serves your life if you're not willing to honor where you actually are in that life? All right. So, my future self, I believe she would remind me and you that every season has its own rhythm. Some seasons are about building and launching, creating and pushing forward, and others are about pausing, integrating, trusting that the next step will reveal itself when you're ready. And right now, I'm in that season. I'm in a season of trusting that the foundation I've built over these 370 episodes is solid. I'm trusting that showing up honestly is more valuable than showing up perfectly. And I'm trusting that you don't need me to have all the answers. You just need me to keep walking this path right along with you. And maybe that's what your business needs too. Maybe instead of asking, what's my next big strategy or what's my next big thing, you need to ask, what season am I in? And how do I honor that? So, my friends, thank you so much for being here and for listening, whether this is your first episode or you've been with me since the beginning. Your presence means more than you know. You showing up for yourself and for your dreams, for the bigger vision of what's possible for dietitians, that ripples out in ways we can't even measure. So if today's reflection has resonated with you, I'd love so much to hear from you. You know, I do. You guys send me emails and DMs and private messages all the time. Keep them coming. All right. You can send me a message on Instagram at Money Mindset Dietitian or shoot me an email at Christine@manipuracenter.co. Tell me what you are taking away from this moment of pause and tell me what season you're in. I read every single message and email myself. So I'll be back next week, probably with something a little more tactical. But today was for this, for honoring where we are, for celebrating 370 conversations about what's possible when dietitians stop settling for less than they deserve. Until next time, my friends, keep making more money as a dietitian. And remember, sometimes the most profitable thing that you can do is rest. Have a great rest of your day and the weekend ahead. I'll see you on our next episode of Make More Money as a Dietitian. Bye for now. Hey there, my friend. If something in today's episode hit different, I'd love that for you. This week, I invite you to take one action that feels a little scary, yet honors your work. And for more resources and ways to work together, head on over to manipuracenter.co. Remember, you're not asking for too much, my friend. You've just been settling for too little.